You ready, Lee?
You know it, Dave.
Let's do this.
Hell yeah. Welcome to the final week of 31 Days of October. I can't believe we are in the last week. This is Halloween week, and I've had such a fun time sharing all my viewings with you guys. It has been a crazy week. This last week I had my Air Force retirement, and my brothers in arms got me this awesome movie review chair. So the old Drum Dum's chair has been retired, as well as myself from the Air Force, and now we have a brand new movie review chair. I hope you guys like it. I love it. But this week I watched so many movies, guys. I wanted to go out with a bang, and I have two really awesome, phenomenal guests for you guys. I got Durant Cinema, and I got CP from Will I Like It Reviews. Durant created that intro that you guys just saw. He put it together, he edited it, and I had so much fun making that with him. So first, we're gonna start with what Durant watched for the week. So take it away, Durant.
What is whoop, guys? First, I just want to say thank you, Lee, for having me. What the fuck was that? First, I want to say thank you, Lee, so much for having me on here. And holy cow, we are at the end. This is it, guys. What a month it's been. I've had a lot of fun because I've seen a lot of horror movies because of you guys. You guys got me in the vibe. You got me in the mood. And I'm going to tell you what I watched. I watched Horror Needs a Hero. You know, CP is a huge Jason fan, Friday the 13th. And I remember Lee saying part 2 was one of his favorites. So I was like, you know what, why not? I need a little Jason in this October, you know. So I threw that on part 2. And holy cow, for the first time watching it, it was pretty good. It was actually creepy. Freaking creepy, man. It was pretty good. Especially love this one scene where this character finds Jason's house at the end, and you can see through the window him running, and I was like, holy shit, that's pretty intense. That's good. A couple days ago, I just watched Child's Play 2. That was the last movie I watched, and I like it. It's a good sequel to Child's Play, and Child's Play, though, is the better one, but I love the ending of this movie because Chucky, his emotions are so raging and so funny. He's swearing, he's yelling. I love it when he's yelling. It's so intense. It's awesome. He gets so pissed off that it gives me chills at times. My most accomplished of all this month was getting this. The Halloween box set. This month was to watch all 10 films. In hell, I did. It was freaking awesome. I haven't really seen. I've seen a couple, but wow, I went through them all, and I really enjoy a lot of these. Some of them are just okay, and there's one that's really complete shit. I've seen like It Follows, The Thing remake. I haven't seen the original yet, but I still gotta get on it, but I did like the remake. It was pretty good. I watched Saws 5, 6, 7. Yeah, the 6 is really good. I like the 6th one. The 6th one is really good. 7th, nah, it is so cheesy. And the 5th one, it's bad acting, really bad acting, but I like the group premise of it all. I like the twist at the end, and I really enjoyed it. I thought, well, for the most part. Guys, that's it. That's all I got for you. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you, Lee, once again for having me on. I can't wait for next year. And Drum Dumb out, or Durant Cinema out. And I'm still gonna wear this, even on like Christmas or something like that. I love this thing.
Thank you so much, Durant Cinema. I really appreciate it. Make sure you guys check out his channel. Next up, we got my buddy CP from Will I Like It Reviews. CP and I, we put out a series of videos called Horror Needs a Hero. Recently, we just did one honoring Michael, Jason, and Freddy. I'll put a link to that, or I'll actually put a card up here somewhere. Make sure you check that out. And for CP's video, he's going to have a text crawl just going across his video as he's talking about his movie viewings for the week. Just ignore whatever you read on that and just enjoy what he has to say. So take it away, CP.
Guys, let's call a spade here. Who else would you expect for the granddaddy of weekends for the 31 Days of Horror? Come on, we all kind of secretly knew it was going to be me for this one. And obviously sharing with Dave, you don't get a better lineup. But seriously, Lee, thank you for having me here. Good to share my stuff with you guys. First off was Monday night, and I had a bit of a light day. Started it off with zombie classic Shaun of the Dead. This counts, folks. It's as much as it's a comedy, it's still a really good zombie movie, and if you haven't seen it yet, definitely check this out. This is something for people who like either genre. This is really right down the middle and perfect for anybody. And in that same night, Monday, I actually brought myself down after all that laughter with the extremely underrated I Spit on Your Grave. This is the remake, actually, so keep that in mind. A better story and a better presentation of what's going on with the main character. Some of you may not want to watch this, and it could be a touchy subject for some people, but for others, I mean, there's a scene of rape in here. Otherwise, it's mostly like torture porn, but it's more of a it has a Tarantino feel, a Robert Rodriguez feel when they do their B-movie revenge-y type stuff. But yeah, extremely underrated movie. Give it a shot. If you can handle, some not so cool stuff going on, this is definitely at least worth giving a shot to. And I don't know if like is a word I'd use for something like this, but I don't have problems watching this, and I will probably watch this again at least next year at this time. So Tuesday night, again, this may not be considered a straight horror movie, but Seven, I mean, this is a great movie. What else can be said about this? Great, incredible thriller. Again, not exactly a horror movie, but just brilliant. I mean, one of the better endings ever. Wednesday night, I watched Joyride, written by J.J. Abrams. Little fun fact for you there. Paul Walker, Steve Zahn, you really buy that they're brothers in this movie. There isn't much, there's no gruesomeness, I don't even think there's nudity. There's male nudity, actually. Ladies, 2 men naked in this movie. So here it is, the counterculture thriller of my picks. Again, I keep going back and forth between not actual horror, but this is Monster Squad. I just had this sent to me. Oh, the memories I have. There are a bunch of movies that are horror themed, horror based, that you can like really crack your kids in and get them involved with some of this stuff. And this is the Goonies for horror. This is the closest thing to the Avengers for horror. Really fun movie. It's not really scary at all. But again, 80s movie, really kind of trying to ride the Goonies coattails. There's a lot of, right down to the terrible Chunk ripoff. But again, for horror kids, this is a decent enough shot. As you can see, it's still wrapped. I'm recording this Wednesday, so secret's out. It's just, in the end, are horror movies really good when you're comparing them to regular movies? No. And this is fun. So it's just a good time. Like it's a nice break if you're watching a bunch of scary shit, a bunch of terrible shit. You get to keep the theme going, but you get to sigh and smile and maybe get the kids involved. Monster Squad, really decent, hardly heard of movie. And Thursday, because of the Monster Squad watch, I'm going to watch the classic Frankenstein. It's a movie I haven't seen since I was a child, and I have this box set here, and there's a couple that I still have to catch up with. I might even try the Wolfman as well, but this box set's, it's just awesome. It's awesome, and like if you want to learn old horror, just incredible. Can I even? And Friday night, I'll be doing a lot of editing and stuff, so it won't be a big night. But I'm gonna give good old Wrong Turn a try. Again, you know, this may not be underrated because it spawned a ton of sequels, but you know, for people who say that the 21st century doesn't really have too many good horror movies, or even the early 21st century, this is really, really good. And on Halloween Day, I will probably I'm actually probably gonna watch The Final Girls again as a precursor, a fun little wee-ha, here let's have some fun and laugh a little bit first. But later on in Halloween, I will be watching Trick or Treat, perfectly themed movie, extremely underrated when you consider it wasn't released to theaters, and it should have at least one sequel by now. This movie's over, it's almost 10 years old, this movie, and we've got nothing. We've got just this. They keep talking about it. Lee had alluded to the fact that this really could be a next horror hero, and I 1,000,000% agree. If you have not seen this, just go check it out. If I'm wrong and you don't like it, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. But last but not least, it's Halloween. I mean, I almost, you know, not. I am going to watch this. It's just the way it is. It's, you have traditions. You have certain things that you watch on certain days. Like I watched Die Hard on Christmas Eve. This movie just fits. It makes you feel like Christmas. It makes you feel like It makes you feel like Halloween, and it just gets you in the mood. And it's a really, really, really extremely good movie. Whatever I haven't told you about this, he probably will. I just want to thank Lee Drum Dums for having me on for this very special final week of the 31 Days of Halloween. You could see both of us in our shared videos, the Horror Needs a Hero videos. We just pumped out the best of the big 3 episodes. My part 1 is on my channel, which is the beginning of Lee's video that he just put up just this week. Halloween is over, but we have stuff coming at you, including Durant, who was, you know, parallel to me for this segment. He's going to be doing a mini episode for us, and it's just been awesome. I can't say enough about meeting Lee, hanging out with Lee, spending time with Lee, talking to him. It's just been an incredible ride. I'm so thankful to have Lee as a friend, and I'm thankful to share in this horror fan universe. And obviously I was incredibly flattered when he asked me to close out the month for guest spots. For Will I Like It Reviews, I'm CP. Back to Lee.
Thank you, CP. Now, let's talk about what I watched for this week. I have a lot to talk about, so I'm going to go through these pretty quick, but looking forward to sharing them with you. First off, I watched The Walking Dead. Thank you. This was a freaking internet explosion episode this week. I don't want to talk about spoilers, but let me just say, I'm going to give you a little bit of a rant, okay? Because there are a lot of people, I believe, that are in my shoes. I don't have cable. I actually got rid of cable, and I do streaming because I really don't watch regular basic cable TV. Unfortunately, shows like Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead, I can watch them the next day because I do the Amazon Season Pass, and then I do the HBO Now. The problem with that is, the second one of these front-loading episodes comes out, the internet goes crazy and just starts unloading every freaking spoiler you can possibly imagine. It drives me crazy. YouTube reviewers do the same thing. As soon as an episode comes out, and I'm not going to mention any names, but there is a YouTube review site that has well over 100,000 views. And they put in their title, "Who dies in this episode?" And then they put a huge spoiler right on the thumbnail. You have got to be freaking kidding me, internet. I thought you were better than that. Anyway, This taught me a big lesson. Pretty much avoid all social media, all internet, everything you can up until you can watch said episode. Because with Game of Thrones and Walking Dead, all bets are off. But I'll just say it is a phenomenal episode. Okay, next up I watched Let Me In. Let the Right One In, the foreign original movie, is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. It is such a classic. I wish more American filmmakers could take note from some of these great foreign filmmakers, because Let the Right One In is just such a special movie to me. It is just amazing. And it doesn't feel American at all, and that's a good thing. But Let Me In is actually a pretty decent remake. I didn't like it at first because I wanted so bad to compare it to the original, but then I let a few years go by without watching the original. I went back and watched Let Me In, and this actually has some really good performances in it. So definitely check this one out. Next up, I actually went and saw John Carpenter's Halloween on the big screen. I drove about an hour and a half away, and this was such an amazing experience. Everybody's got their favorite movie, their favorite horror movie, and I'm sure everybody would love to watch it on the big screen. If you don't, you're missing out. It is such an awesome experience to watch a movie that you love and hold so near and dear to your heart on the big screen. And this was just so special to me. The sound was big. There was a great documentary beforehand with John Carpenter, and I actually posted a video about that experience. I'll put a card up there. Be sure to check that out. Next up, I watched one of my favorite movies of all time, The Crow. It's no wonder that I'm wearing this t-shirt, and I might have a little bit of eyeliner on from my thumbnail. But I love The Crow. The Crow is such a great movie. I actually did a review for Jordan Ryan, his channel. He should be dropping that review here pretty soon. But for that review, I just did kind of a quick review. I want to do a full 10-minute The Crow revisited review. I love this movie so much, and I really would just want to give it its due. This is such a classic to me, and it really changed the landscape of comic book movies. And it's one of the only comic book movies, or one of the few comic book movies, that gets you emotional. And I would say that Dark Knight even owes a bit of gratitude toward The Crow. Next up, I watched one of my favorite zombie movies, or zombie comedies, Return of the Living Dead. I actually didn't see Return of the Living Dead until a couple years ago. I'd always heard about it, and when I finally watched it, I was like, wow, what have I been missing out on? This is just such a fun zombie movie. And it's really cool that Dan O'Bannon, who wrote Alien, actually directed Return of the Living Dead. But there are so many interesting characters in this movie, and it's just so fun. And I just loved Linnea Quigley as Trash. She was just really wild and crazy. And if you've seen this movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But Return of the Living Dead. Okay, next up, I watched The Fly. Boy, this is a classic. A Cronenberg classic. I really love this movie so much. Jeff Goldblum does such a great job. So I'm doing a movie review of The Fly, and that's a horrible Jeff Goldblum impersonation, but I just had to try. But I haven't watched it in quite a few years, and watching it on Blu-ray with high-def sound and everything, the score in this movie is so powerful, and it has one of the best third acts. And the violence feels so real in this movie. Great, great practical effects. So if you haven't seen The Fly, definitely check it out. And I keep forgetting that there's actually a sequel to The Fly with Eric Stoltz. And I need to revisit that one sometime because I don't remember it being that bad. Okay, for today, Halloween Day, I've actually watched quite a bit so far. I still have some to watch. I started off the morning by watching Michael Jackson's Thriller, just because that is one of the greatest music videos. Actually, never mind that. It is the greatest music video of all time. I just love this video so much. It's like watching a movie. And I remember when I was a kid, this video actually scared me because Michael Jackson with the, I guess you could say, the demon eyes. But there's a reason why we are still constantly imitating Thriller. It's just so groundbreaking. And Michael Jackson really made music videos a viable thing in the 80s and 90s. These days, music videos don't really seem to be that important, but I remember when I was growing up in the 80s and the 90s, music videos were really a big thing, and Thriller was a big reason for that. Okay, I couldn't watch Halloween without watching More of the Night He Came Home, Halloween 2. This is actually a really good sequel to Halloween 1. It's a little slow in parts, but I like that they set the whole thing in a hospital, and the third act is so awesome. The final showdown is really just neck break pace. Next up, we got Halloween 3. I will be watching this one probably right after I record this video, but I watch Halloween 3 every year. It is a great movie. It doesn't have Michael Myers in it, and a lot of people hated it for years and years and years, but now it's finally becoming the cult classic status that it deserves. It is a really fun Halloween movie. It's a really interesting plot. And if you haven't seen Halloween 3, you will probably walk away from it with some questions in your head. And also, one of the robots looks exactly like Agent Smith from The Matrix. And then tonight, I plan on watching World War Z. This is one of the better zombie movies to come out in the past 10 years. I really love how frantic it is and how the zombies really just become an infestation. And you're not safe anywhere, even on a plane. The scene on the plane is one of the coolest zombie scenes I've seen in a long time. But if you get this on Blu-ray, make sure you check out the unrated version because it feels more like an R-rated version of the movie. So that's it, guys. We did it. We finished 31 Days of October. I had so much fun chatting with you guys, and I actually got some recommendations from your comments, and I really appreciate those. Thank you so much to everybody that actually participated in this and got down in the comments and shared what you watched. I really looked forward to that. That was my favorite part of this whole thing. Every week was just looking at your comments and seeing what you guys watched. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. 31 Days of October 2015 is in the can. Looking forward to 31 Days 2016. Thank you for watching. Drum Dumb out.